around. Nothing's ever gonna bring you down. Okay, what movie is that from? Don't say it. You know it?
I don't.
You don't know it?
Don't know it.
I'm letting everybody answer it first. Just type it in if you knew it. It's one of the great musical montages of The Karate Kid. It's like when he's like learning and getting better. Yeah, and I think it's maybe it's in the tournament at the end.
Oh, okay.
You're the best around, nothing. Because kind of that little part at the end, it's awesome.
I should have known that.
Speaking of that,
who's watched Cobra Kai? That's where you're going, right?
No.
No, yes. It's fantastic. You need to watch it.
I'm calling this the amp conundrum and the minimalist Generation Z.
Oh, ouch.
And the Cork sniffers.
I think I know where I fall, but it makes me a little sad.
In the dad rock bod world. Oh no, God. Dad rock bod world? Is this a new thing? I don't know.
Yeah.
It was cute though, because I was working with a bunch of kids earlier this morning, and I was just laughing about dad rock stuff, and like they all know the dad rock stuff. Anything from like, you know, all the way back to like Boston to like Florida Georgia Line to like Weezer.
It's funny. We're calling that dad rock.
It is now in some ways, because there's no like young, like you wouldn't think.
What's sad to me is that was like the hot new thing at one point.
2012-14 period. No, but I was doing what's that, Cruise. I started doing that song because I was showing them it's the same chords as Taylor Swift's this, and it's the same chords as this song. And
like Wagon Wheel.
It is. It's the exact same structure.
If you really want to slay it at your next open mic, just do Cruise, Wagon Wheel mashup.
Or you do Wonderwall and the Green Day song.
Boulevard of Broken
Boulevard,
Dreams.
thank you. Same thing. Wonderwall is better. Gauntlet down. Anyway, the amp conundrum. What I mean by that is a better amp better for everyone?
Yes.
No, there's this weird percent. I know.
Is it a trick? I don't understand.
It's kind of a trick though.
Better's better.
You can spend a lot of money on amplifiers. I have that problem. I do love great amplifiers, and I spend way too much money on amps. That's sort of my thing right now. I like to waste money on amplifiers. Help me. If it's old and
God help us.
Smoke infused, I'll buy it.
Moldy smelling, we'll do it.
That smells like a bar. I'll take it. I'll take two. Give me a shot of that.
There is a great amp smell.
There's something cool about it.
Speaking of our Florida Georgia Line, my great friend Brian Bonds, who we had on our podcast that you should go listen to.
Have I ever met him?
You have met him.
I know. I'm swinging with his children.
God, of course, that's right.
With the Dolphins.
That makes it sound strange. But we were talking about how good, like when you crank up something like a nice Magnatone and the little tube, the new tube smell.
On you and your fancy amps.
Well,
so this is weird because I am a fancy amp lover, but
aren't we all?
I think you can get some great sounds with, let's take a Blues Junior.
Bite your tongue.
Blues Junior, baby, all the way.
It is, you can though.
Dime that thing out. It is sustainy and creamy with the little boost in there. No pedals, mind you, just the amp. It's not bad. It's going to blow your earballs out.
You do forget, like we had that one on in the shop the other day. We were all just jamming on this Blues Junior. You're like, wow, it's a good sound amp.
It's now you can even go like less than that. I mean, get like we were sort of like doing this like sort of hand wired versus PCB and like but everything almost everything on the market is not hand wired.
I mean, yeah, your normal like your Fender amps and yeah.
Once you get like when you get the Magnatones and Two Rocks and the boutique stuff, yes, hand wired is expected. But everything else prior is pretty much boarded
Vox,
up.
Most of the Vox stuff you're gonna buy, yeah.
I think a Vox is a really darn good amp too. Even the new AC30s and the new AC15s are not bad. There's a lot of things you sacrifice. There's lots of digital aspects to it, but sonically,
pretty good.
It's pretty dang on point.
Yeah,
and they're built pretty well too, better than they used to be. Even like they can take a beating.
I think there was a few rough years there for like the Chinese made Vox stuff, but
I bought 3 or 4 of them. I can't remember how many. It was a lot. Maybe it was more. And I had to keep returning them because they all had these like severe issues. Like within me just plugging them in and playing them immediately, it was just like or like just the microphonic-y type sounding things just happening, and like the ghost notes and when I play the scale down, just a chromatic scale down on the G string, I believe.
So how did you solve that conundrum?
I returned them.
But didn't you end up buying an old one?
I bought an old one. Yeah, I did buy an old one. But I also had to do a lot of work on that one. I had to do a lot of replacement stuff on it and get that sort of tuned up.
But maybe the difference is that you can do that.
That is a big difference. Now,
right.
I mean, that's a good point, right? you're sort of stuck with the board. But don't get me wrong, I think you can get pretty darn close with a lot of these things. Like let's jump all the way down to like sort of cheap knockoff amps. They have a sound.
They make noise. They do things.
They do. Or even in my beloved Fender world, like the Champ 20 is not a terrible amp.
It's not.
I think it's much better than the Frontman 10 or something. That just is. I'm not going to play an amp. I'd rather play unplugged than play that. It just doesn't do anything. It's like, oh, it makes sound come out, but what is this sound usable to me? Not really.
Someone out there, I guarantee,
is going to do like a demo.
They have done an entire album that is done okay.
No, the Rumble 25 bass amp sounds great for guitar.
It does.
And that used to be a $99 thing. It's not anymore. Sorry, prices have all gone up. It's
still not that expensive.
It's still a great amp though.
You know,
with a pedal, get a little reverb or delay on it. Problems. It can't really do the whole breakup thing naturally because it just gets the speaker farts out. But let's talk about, besides the workability on it, as you go forward in your growth of tonalities. Like most people that start have no idea what a good amp and a bad amp sound like.
Sure.
Same with guitars. But as you sort of develop your taste and your ears, you can sort of get an idea of what at Blues Junior might be it for you too. There's that one guitar player in Texas that's what he uses, that Zach Person loves. I can't remember his name. He's so good. Frick. Whatever.
We can never remember his name.
I can't remember his name, but he's really good. Just go to Austin, look for the Blues Junior guy.
But I mean, you can, all these sort of amps like that live in that world, the Blues Junior, the Hot Rod Deluxe stuff, any reissue Fender, you can find a player out there who has ridiculously great tone, and that's what they're using.
We'll get to that in a little bit too. Like, but there is this thing. Like, I was going to comp it to, I call it the Schneiderman effect.
Okay. Because
there's a friend of mine, and his last name is Schneiderman. And there's two friends. There's three friends. I like the whole family actually. There's a whole family. I love that. Four. There's four of them. Oh my God. But I'm going to talk about the patriarch of this family. He has a phenomenal stereo system.
Yep.
And I have a Sonos type player in my house at the moment. Like just like, the little Amazon thing. It sounds good. But you go to his house and he'll put on like the same music and it is mind shattering how good it is. I do not like listen to the Eagles really. And he puts on Hotel California. I'm like, this is the greatest piece of recorded history I've ever heard.
Now, I have a question about this.
It's all vinyl too.
Would you say, like, what percentage is his better than yours? It's
weird because we were doing this whole 5 to 10% diminishing return thing. I can't even put a percentage on that because it's so much better. It's like it's like 720 to 1080p. It's not even that. It's more.
But and I feel like this is true with amps too, right? Like that mind shattering part to me. It lives in that small.
You think it lives in that 5%?
I think it does. I
don't know because it wasn't that it was louder. It was just like I was hearing things I never heard.
Right.
And that happens with a guitar amp too. To me, when I'm playing a really fine, like handcrafted piece of thing. You say you like the fact that when it's built in America and it's built by a dude you can call on the phone. You love that.
I do love that.
I do like it when there's problems. I'm like, what's up, dude?
And I do think there's some things in the designs of some of those things, like those amps that we love. But maybe it is only this percentage better, but I don't know. In my brain, that's where. Can you have amazing live tone or recorded tone or anything without that?
Because I do love McDonald's. But I know it's weird.
Absolutely.
I love it. But like when you have like a really fine hamburger, and I've had them, there's something in your mouth waters and everything. McDonald's is like this satiating thing because it's familiar. Yeah. I had it since I was a kid.
Right.
It's
nostalgia.
It's affordable. It's super affordable. I love that. And then, but a mouth-watering hamburger with like avocados on it and like a proper little aioli or something that's like been
a boutique hamburger.
A boutique burger. I know. And not even that crazy. I had one over the weekend, and it was like $12, and it was well worth the 100% more. It was like 10 times more expensive than a McDonald's hamburger.
Yeah.
I mean, really, it was. But it was real meat. It wasn't filler. It was like the best of the materials. It came with the French fries. Didn't come with a drink. I had to pay for that extra. It was a cherry Coke that I had with it. Fantastic. With Coke with grenadine poured into it. Oh my goodness.
Went all out, man.
Yeah, it was like, but $12 for the burger and the fries, which were great.
That's like a boutique amp with like fancy cables.
Runway audio cables as well. Oh my God, I'm living life of a hog. So Jonathan likes Runway audio cables so much. He actually had boots made out of the same material.
I'd show them to you, but I can't lift my leg that high.
They're too heavy now.
Let's try. Yeah.
And we just don't want to show. Like, they are amazing. It's like that Carolina blue color. I'm gonna get some Duke blue.
God's color.
God's green earth color. Carolina blue. You only bleed orange. UT orange. Roll Tide. Whatever. That's not them obviously, but that's another one. I'm an Arkansas Razorbacks fan, so I can't. I like UT a little bit too.
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
I mean, it's like, but my wife.
I don't have a hatred for them. Does she?
Because she's UK.
My wife only really hates. Well, she hates Alabama and she hates Clemson.
Like you're making so many enemies right now.
I know. I didn't say me. You can.
I don't really hate any of the teams. Like I am a fan of certain teams that are very hated, but I'll just leave that to be.
That's true.
One of the most hated teams in college basketball, but it's one of my favorites. So I can't help it.
I'll keep my comments to myself.
Shh, quiet, you devil.
Oh, I'm not the devil.
No, so it can be like that. I mean, another analogy I was thinking is the Oculus analogy.
Oh, that's a good one.
So you spelled my Oculus analogy. What was I saying?
So you were saying a real sword versus like the little
it's like
thing, the handle you hold and then you put on the Oculus and it's like a lightsaber.
Sometimes there can be that much of a difference. Sometimes, like when you play, because it's like when I went over to my friend Peter's house, which he has like the best toys and he's so much fun. I love him to death, and he's doing super good because he's a weird guy and he's tall and he's gorgeous and he has a beautiful wife and kids. It's just strange. I'm just jealous. I just want to kill him and take his life. Anyway,
that was weird.
He does have a beautiful wife.
But I understand. Anyway, I do understand.
But he has this great. What's he using now? The
XFX 3,
which is amazing. It's amazing. But then we went on. He has a vintage, Silver Jubilee Marshall with this great delay pedal that was like $500+ delay pedal, I'm sure. And we plugged that in. And I played that. There's no comparison to me. No comparison. Just that it was like playing a lightning rod.
Right.
It was like just like playing the Oculus, doing like the lightsaber thing where the beats or whatever. Versus it was just fun. I love doing that too. Versus just like.
All right, I'm gonna play. I know, but I'm gonna go devil's advocate here for a second, right?
I know where we're going. Hopefully,
I mean,
maybe
the Oculus is a lot of fun, right? And so, as cool it is to hold a real sword, you can't go out on the street and just like murder people with this real sword. Do you know what I mean? But you can in Fantasyland and the Oculus have lightsaber duels, and
No, and this is where we talked about this last week. I think a little bit. Where like in the recording world. I think some of this stuff works better.
Well,
or if you're Chris Robinson from the Black Keys, what did he say?
He said, "F your computer." I don't know how much we're allowed to quote.
He said bad words.
F your effing computers. That's exactly what he said. It made me so happy. And he was just talking about like modelers. Like he's like, we don't want this thing that sounds like a guitar. We want real loud amps. And real guitars.
And obviously everything runs through computer processing.
Right.
To your end
blah,
user.
Blah, whatever.
We get that, but it's still the real amp.
Well, he was talking more about live. He's like, we don't want in-ears and we want floor wedges and loud amps.
I mean, I
do too. Even though I lay on my couch at night and hear like strange, like, but still.
Your children crying. Stop it, Daddy.
What? Are you guys talking? Oh God. Who's there?
That hum in your ear from like all the dead like cells in there.
Yeah, it's fun. It's great times. But I mean, it's the same with the amp, right? Like as amazing as that Silver Jubilee is, you probably can't go out in the street and crank it up and play a show. But you can get a really usable fun tone from that XFX 3. So it's just,
No, it's really fun. And I would have liked to have spent some more time.
And it probably does. Like Peter sent me some recorded stuff where I doubt, without some real knowledge and some time invested, like we couldn't come close to that sound miking up.
Yes, and I agree again. But again, that rubs. That is the rub or whatever I was going to say. I'm getting very Shakespearean here. It's a lot of that.
I mean, I hate that I'm arguing this side of it.
No, but it's like, how much of us are recording?
Yeah.
Even like you as a recording artist, like you're not, most of the time you're just playing for fun.
Oh yeah.
Like when you play, you're just playing for giggles and joy. And so it's like, you got to find what's going to bring you the most joy. What's the cost threshold? What's the diminishing returns of that high? Because like me, a two-rock's expensive.
Heck yeah.
A Magnetone's expensive. A Friedman's expensive. A Schwartz expensive. Cars are expensive. Fenders are now expensive.
Yeah.
Marshalls are expensive. Everything is like, really good amps are expensive. You have to figure out is it worth it to you? I would say yes. You don't have to go all the way to the extreme of like these highest priced ones. But something about a good amp that knows what they're doing.
Well, and I think part of the what we're calling the conundrum is
it's tricky.
But I think it's becoming more normal it's cool to enjoy both.
Well, and Generation Z just doesn't really care about like
they don't
name
care,
brands or like if this is an American build. It's actually cool to have a minimalistic rig sometimes.
Right.
And we said jokes about the Cork sniffers, like all of us making fun of us a little bit because it is like, I mean, I don't want to be that guy that I sort of like to have fought against as a young person as well.
Right. It's true. But I mean, there's like, to me, there's a joy to going out to my little shed and plugging into my Magneton. But then there's a joy of having a modular thing that I can sit on my couch and put on headphones and like hear a pretty realistic amp sound. Like they're different, amazing. But they're both, I derive a lot of joy from both those things.
It's tricky. At the end, like the amp is probably, and we've said it before, is the most important sound of your signal chain.
Yeah.
More so than the guitar, more so than the cable.
Sadly, I agree.
But the most important thing that everyone leaves out of this conversation, the fingers.
They're like, here they go with their old man rhetoric.
Fingers.
Tones in your hand.
Just
but
like,
it is.
No, it is. Like you put Stevie Ray Vaughan, well, he couldn't do it now, he's dead. But if you put him on an amp when he was living, or a guitar.
Or if we dug him up and took his hand.
Yes. He would be Stevie Ray Vaughan on anything he plays. Eric Clapton on anything he plays. It's like one of my good friends out in California, works in the recording industry. He's like, I was talking about him about like all the singers and stuff. He's like, all these singers that are pop stars, they all are pop stars for a reason too. Like and I believe in that as well. It's not like it's not all computer and all driven. Like when they go in there and sing, they have a sound. Even if you don't like, let's say Chris Martin from Coldplay or Justin Bieber from Justin Bieber Land, they have a sound.
And I would say it's not necessarily like the most technically like best singer, but like you say, it's unique, it's recognizable.
But it's
most of our favorite guitar players are that too.
It also has star power.
Right.
To it, you know, it's not true. The most shredder guitar players, the guys I listen to. Like I'm gonna drop it again. You go down and put "Sweet Child of Mine" on it, and you listen to that guitar solo. Tell me that's not close to perfect. It's perfect. It's one of the best written guitar solos, and one of the best played ones. And then you listen closely. Go to the really nice stereo. Listen to that Izzy Stradlin, you know, like behind there playing that rhythm stuff. Those guys put magic.
Pretty amazing, yeah.
On a record. And I don't care if you like GNR or not. I know it's dad rock to a lot of folks. But
well, it's like you said, the Hotel California solo is amazing when you really listen to it. And like the way I was teaching it to a kid the other day, the way it nails like the chord tones they're having. I mean, it's just it's not the most shreddy thing, but it's perfect.
Bass tone on Hotel California. Ugh.
When you hear it, especially when you hear it, like what
sniff corks. Yeah. I don't even like wine, so I don't even know what that's. I can't be a cork sniffer.
No, I don't know what that means.
I'd be like, like when they shake the glass and I'm just getting the perfume or whatever it is. I don't know. I don't get it. I like a good glass of wine. It's lost to me when it's a $500 bottle or something.
Yeah, I think it's a waste to me as well.
But again, the same could be said about amplifiers.
It's good.
Full circle.
But, darn it.
Darn you, Baxter.
Like I said,
Jonathan,
I'm pretty sure I know where I fall. I said that up.
But I play a 5-watt Gibson reissue amplifier in my apartment amp. You know, that's like. And
that's probably what you play the most, right?
I do. Like I love that amplifier because it's really cool. No one's in my house. I can crank it.
Yeah.
And then it does the thing.
Cool about that, right?
But yeah, so it's not an expensive amp. We bought it from someone who sold it to the guitar shop, and I was like, I'm gonna keep that amp. It's cool looking, and it makes the sound I like.
True.
It was a few $100. I like it. It's mine now. Until I'm tired of it. That's all I got to say. Click like, subscribe. Bells.
We should stop saying just that. Like, subscribe, bell. That should be it.
Like, subscribe, bell.
Pare it down.
That is nice. I'm gonna do that next video we shoot.
Next video.
No, tomorrow. Like, subscribe, bell. Got it. Well, thanks for joining us. Seriously, enjoy your journey out there. It's so much fun. If you're playing on a $100 amp, playing on a $7,000 amp.
Just play. It's fun.
So much fun.
It's good.
I want to play on all of them.
Yes.
Bye-bye.
See you next time.